Primetime. That's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, we learned exactly what they're going to do. Pre-draft luncheon pays off big time. They laid out their draft board. Just what you thought you'd get. No, that did not happen. No. It's an exercise in a lot of ways to hear them tell you what they're not going to do. That's basically how it goes down. But welcome in after James Gladstone, after the Jaguars brass gives you at least access to talk about the upcoming draft. We are counting it down, 9 days from that first selection. Will it be the 5th pick overall? There's a little movement at the top of the draft that we will definitely get into today. So welcome in. It's XL Primetime. And we do say thanks to the Jaguars and Jaguars.com for letting us send that out via the airwaves where you guys can hear from James Gladstone. But the one thing that I am zeroing in on is we welcome Big Search back from missing yesterday. Whenever you have a cool saying, you shouldn't use it all the time. Okay, do you have a cool saying that you
A cool saying?
Yeah. Like you only let it out.
He has way too many.
Yeah. He does have a lot of cool sayings.
Right.
I got a few. I got a few.
I think
but it's only cool when you say it randomly, it becomes cool.
Yeah.
Every other now and again.
And
If
I think if you put him on the spot, it's not going to sound good.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the one thing that Big Search has got, he's got like an arsenal of them.
He does.
So it's not one that is going to be used all the time.
Thanks.
But I like that because it comes out when he releases it.
Mm-hmm.
But intangibly, Rich is
orange
like
and blue to the death.
Like that one right there.
There you go. Intangibly, Rich is like LFG on X. Okay, it's just out there a bunch all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
What is?
Yeah, that word or that phrase, intangibly rich. Gonna make me say it again. Look, I'm all for it. I want it, but
doesn't roll off the tongue well though.
No,
tangibly rich.
Yeah.
Just draft a guy that can play football.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on, man. It's not that difficult.
But at the same time, as I'm listening to pieces of the presser, and JJ was cutting it up, and we'll give you a little bit more of it, I still like what he's saying versus what the last 2 or 3 talking heads have said. And is it more? Is it meatier than what they've said? No, not necessarily. But at the same time, he is trying to own the philosophy. And he gives you an idea of what the philosophy is, whereas the last 2 guys, it was just...
You may not know what the hell he's talking about, but he's giving you an idea.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know what I prefer. I just know that what we had didn't work. And I don't even really care necessarily what the last 2 GMs said. I care about what they did, what they selected when they needed to make the decision, when it was in the draft room and they said this, not that. That's what I care about.
Well, it's hard to beat Shatley's greatest strength is his strength. That's pretty good one. That's pretty good one, right?
Yeah, that one never gets old.
Never gets old. Ever.
Yeah.
Shatley's greatest strength is his strength.
Thank you.
Love it.
At times we do find ourselves.
It's like
being
Shatley was a Marvel character, you know?
Yeah.
His great strength.
And
by the way, here's another great Leon one.
Somebody has to go home and cry.
That is a great one.
Yeah,
That's a top 5er, actually.
Yeah. And he doesn't always pair that up with, if you got an issue, get a tissue.
That's also a good one.
Yeah, he doesn't pair them up together. So it's just, I love the idea of them looking beyond the measurables. I'm all for it. I just want to see what this nets coming next Thursday and beyond. We've seen what it netted with an affordable approach to free agency. They didn't go spending willy-nilly and all that stuff. They did put some priority on some players, and they did pay them to come here, Jordan Lewis being now the highest paid nickel. But I didn't feel like they were just throwing money at the problem. They want to draft and develop here. That I am 100% anxious and really leaning in to see what it looks like once they start putting this thing together.
I just think it's interesting how when you're talking about free agency, it's all about your game tape. It's all about what you've put on tape in the NFL. If it's college football, suddenly there's all kind of different parameters added into that. The argument of your tape is your resume. Suddenly it's, well, he may not be this explosive, or he may have short arms, or he may not be the right size for this position, or he's a guy that is X, Y, or Z. There's all kind of different excuses to why you should or should not draft a player, when at the end of the day, it's watch the guys flipping tape.
Well,
if he's a football player, he's a football player.
You actually should be giving credit to this franchise then. You're not?
I think in the draft specifically, and this is not just this franchise. I think all franchises are like this.
They
over analyze the draft when it's at the end of the day. It's about finding football players.
The difference, or not the difference, but the time from your last snap as an All-America at the University of Miami to where you got drafted was roughly almost 5 months, right?
5 months, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the paralysis by analysis. Is that tape? They feel like they got to just constantly work and look for something new to evaluate and analyze, and it's a silly season. It really is.
And here's my frustration as a player, thinking that you did everything. You're asked questions. You're asked to do this or that. And sometimes I wanted to say, hey, man, I'm a champion. I mean, look, that's my resume. You want me on your team, I'm a champion. I'm a pedigree. All right? So, but I couldn't say that. I had to go along with the narrative of, being humble and being respectful and all. But the arrogance in me, knowing that I went to Miami and won at a high level and competed at a high level, at some particular time, where it was teams that I knew that they have a shot at me, I was like, bro, I'm not even going to be around. But in my head, I'm saying that. But my thought process is that I got to play the game.
Yeah,
because it's too many.
You have to.
You have to play the game because you've got. I had the East-West Shrine game. I had the Combine and I had the Pro Day. Yeah. And those three arenas right there will determine and affect whether I go in the first round or later.
All right, I'm going to give this one reason with a 10-10 take as to why you should like what they're doing here based on what Matt just said.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
Sonny's follows the recipes. That's right. When it works, and don't mess it up. They want to smoke it slow and serve it fast. So drop on by any one of your area Sonny's and enjoy some of that delicious barbecue, tried and true. So the reason I say I like what's happening right now versus what has happened before, pairing it up with what Matt just said, you get crazy trying to look at every different angle of a player off the field during this period of the calendar getting ready for the draft. I salute and applaud the LA Rams for basically saying we don't do top 30 visits. We don't bring a guy in to work him out and do all this stuff. We're going to rely on what we saw. We're going to analyze the tape. And James Gladstone is bringing that philosophy here to Duval. No top 30 visits. That means they just look at guys based on what they did on tape. Now, they still might do the evaluation process, but they're not bringing a guy in and falling in love with him here based on a little mini workout. That's the 10-10 take. So on that alone, Matt, that is a major departure.
Amen.
From what they've done before. So they actually, I believe, I hope, are looking at the tape.
Yeah, I just think you have to trust your department. You've got so many scouts in there, so many sub-level scouts in there. Region scouts. You got to trust these guys. They're the guys that go out and watch these guys, not only in games, but in practice as well. These are the guys that go talk to people in their lives that understand who and what they're all about, what makes them tick.
Right.
At some point, you've got to trust these guys. You can't be micromanaging over and over and over and over like what it clearly was with the previous guy here, okay? And I think if you have a situation where you know your guys, you trust them, you understand what they know what you want to look at, and what you're looking for, then it's much easier to make your picks. Then you're not looking at Shamar Stewart and saying, well, I know he didn't finish in his college career. And he never had sacks, but look at him. His size, he's everything you want.
I think he's a great example of what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, if they're not doing that, they probably have PIs on these guys as well. The guys
which Gladstone mentioned. He goes, you got to go back and you got to talk to people.
I mean, there are private investigators that go out and check on the guys that could be potentially drafted by you because you want to make sure the guy's not into anything, he didn't hang out, didn't drink too much, all that kind of stuff factors in because you're making a 20, 25, 30, $35 million investment in somebody.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure
10-year
got to make sure he's not a third.
It's also just not just the negative too. It's also like a guy like Will Campbell who was the best tackle in the best league in college football. Yeah. How do you not look at that and say, okay, that's a football player,
right?
Instead of saying he's got short arms.
Well, I mean, the PI could also bring back good reports Might be
That too,
you
right?
know what I'm saying? So I mean, it works both ways as far as doing your investigative study with the scout in the film, but then you want to make sure the guy's not out in the streets doing crazy stuff.
All right, so you guys let us know what you think about what you heard. A little bit is very not a little bit. A lot of it is very predictable as far as what they're going to say, because they're not going to give you anything. They're not going to tell you exactly what road they're driving down to start the draft. Oh, we got to go offensive tackle, and we're fools if we're not. Oh, we got to go defensive interior lineman. We're fools if we're not. They're not going to say any of that. Not right now. They're going to tell you afterwards what their decision-making process was. But I do like the fact that they're saying, you know what? We're relying on what we see. We're still going to go through the process, but we're not bringing guys in. That will cause some combine eyes. It'll get you to fall in love.
Sure, it's prison the moment stuff.
It happens. It does happen. And if anything, and I have to at least assume that what they have done out there, maybe one of the reasons why they didn't have the top 30 visits out in L.A. is because they just kept giving away first-round picks by trading.
Right.
And going and bringing in high-caliber players. And so they made that decision. Let's see if it works here.
So, you know what else I think the problem is I think too often now franchises, and I'm not just saying this one in particular, I'm saying in general, the question that hangs over everything is, what are we missing?
Mm-hmm.
And they're so concerned that they're missing something that they're overanalyzing everything. You know what I mean? That's the reason Tyler Linderbaum dropped from like a top 13, 14 pick to like the late 20s. Remember that, the center from Iowa?
Yeah.
He's the best center in the league now. Because he had short arms. Remember that one?
You really start to make doubt creeps in. You start to make yourself wonder, are you making the decision, or are you making the right decision, or are you making a foolish decision? And it's the classic line, paralysis by analysis. Because you just keep talking yourself in and out of things, in and out of things, in and out of things.
I'm not kidding.
And then you go bananas.
I have been in a team meeting in college, and I'm not going to say which school because I don't want to out the coach, where at one point he stood up and said, what are we missing? I want each one of you guys to tell me what we're missing with this one player, because he was so obsessed by what could be missing.
Right.
Maybe there's nothing missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're trying to find the wart. And you also have to do that. I still think there's a good process when you're talking about that. Give me one thing you don't like. Give me the knock, just so I can at least see if it's so important that I need to eliminate this guy, or if it's something that I'm like, wait a minute, I got too many checks on the plus side.
But too often that turns into you're talking yourself into something bad, something negative.
Maybe.
Well, film don't lie.
Right. That's the whole point. Right.
Yeah. It doesn't lie. I mean, well, if you second guess yourself, if you have to second guess yourself, go back to the film.
Okay, but add this up for me, Leon, because this is the one thing that I think is important, because you shined on the college football field and on the NFL football field. There has to be some things that you see in college that this guy had no problem doing because of the level of competition they face. You still have to figure out who and how they take that next step. Is that not true? Or
yeah, I mean, let's go for our offensive tackles. When you're evaluating offensive tackles, first and foremost, you want to make sure it has the measurables, and then you want to look at the film. When you watch the film against steep competition, how did he play against the best of the best?
Okay.
When you're playing against the Western Carolinas, nobody cares about that kind of stuff. No shot at them. But I'm saying, if you're LSU, I want to see how you played against the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Tennessees, those type of guys. How did you fare well? How did you grade? What was your effort on run and pass? I mean, that's the kind of stuff, because you got to think that the level of competition in the SEC is comparable to what you're going to see in the NFL.
Right, and specifically
the best.
The best player that you saw that season, how you measure up there. All right, so we're going to stay on the draft. We're going to definitely drill down on what they said, get into a handful of things. Like we said, there's movement at the top that we want to get into. JJ, if you don't mind a little Masters music, you're still living off the
oh my God, I'm flying high, bro.
He took his beautiful bride out to dinner.
How'd that go last night?
It went amazingly, and I dropped a big check, and I didn't have an issue doing it because I just won a bunch of money.
Big tip.
Big tip. A lot of pimento
always
cheese.
big tip.
Yeah. He got a lot of pimento cheese.
Yeah.
Did you sing this David Loggins lyrics to your bride? Did you sing it to her?
All right. So
I'll sing it to her to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
So the other half of this.
We'll turn this music on, and you know what this music does to the ladies.
Of course.
That is an awesome idea.
Todd Golden, get you in the mood. I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Right?
Todd Golden's burner phone did win a big pimento pile of cheese, and then it also Big Cersei paid off his. Augusta.
I did.
And you even went a level above
I
what you
did.
normally do.
I can't just go. I had to step it up a notch.
I didn't even know they had shrimp.
I didn't either.
I love it. I love it. And me, the Catholic young former altar boy that I am,
Right.
you have to give up meat during Lent.
Right.
Yeah, I know about those shrimp. I know all about those shrimp, which is great. All right, thank you, Big Sirs. All right, so we've got to unveil.
By the way, this is the second loser golf bet in as many months, Leon.
Yeah.
So you really need.
Step up your game.
Yeah.
bro. Come on.
PGA is in like 3 weeks. I need you to
listen.
get in the lab.
Listen, when football comes around, I'll be right there.
All right.
I know, but you're
It's the off season.
That's a long way away.
I know it's the off season. I'm struggling a bit.
You're buying too many
Until then,
lunches.
you're dropping coin. Man.
I
I
am,
mean, you
bro.
picked a guy who wasn't even in the tournament.
I know, bro.
Russell Henley sucked.
You might have gone back to Lucas Glover and been okay compared to because I didn't have a very hot selection sheet either.
Who ended up winning? Who won the bet?
JJ,
Did I?
I mean,
his guy's at the top.
Okay.
I'm on fire, bro.
Yeah, I have to look and see what his were, but I'm pretty sure he still won the bet. Coach probably thinks he won.
Yeah, I had Oberg, Scheffler, and I think Tom Kim.
Yeah.
The problem was Tom Kim shot like a 79 on the last day. So
Yeah, I had a couple guys just royally let me down on the last day. All right, so we'll stay on the draft. Definitely get into Cersei Sweet 16. We just unveiled it on X. Let's set up the matchup coming up here in just a sec.
Taking calls and taking names.
I want to know who I'm talking to.
Just don't call him names.
That's enough! Why do you guys keep doing that?
Mike Dempsey,
Buenos tardes!
10 to noon weekdays
Great glorious day!
on 1010XL.
Need fresh and flavorful lunch? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, or Butler Point at Chicken Salad Chick.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. What you really want to know is why buy from Arlington Toyota? Mia here. How about over 800 vehicles, one lot, 60-day exchange, and friendly credit for everyone. Plus, right now, you choose a pre-owned 2022 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till August 2025? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Out with the old, in with the organized. Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. Freshen up your home this spring with a custom organization solution. For a limited time, take advantage of our spring special and enjoy exclusive savings on closets, garages, home offices, and more. That's 40% off with an additional 15% off with 12-month special financing through April. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation with Closets by Design.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
Corona Premier, a light beer with just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. The premier side of light. For those that are active and on the go, pick some up the next time you're heading out to enjoy the day under the sun. Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman.
We take you from the water to the woods on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time when if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread. Carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving that we all accepted as normal? That's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, nah, I'm good. That feeling of control is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo is on his way, and you can lose whatever you want to lose. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll thank yourself.
Get ready for the best prices ever on all diamond stud earrings and all tennis bracelets at Beard's Diamonds. For 7 days, April 21st through 27th, you will get up to 40% off. Yes, 40%. Locally owned Beard's Diamonds always beats the big corporate store prices. But next week, they're taking value to a whole new level. All diamond stud earrings and all tennis bracelets are on sale. Big time. Best prices ever. You save up to 40%. Don't miss this first time ever buying opportunity. Next week only, and only at Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local, shop Beards.
Direct from Broadway, MJ, the Tony Award-winning musical, is starting something all across America. Get tickets now to what the Washington Post calls a runaway hit. MJ the Musical, playing Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts, April 22nd through 27th. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
You need 10. Play clock at 4. From the pocket. Launching downfield. Underthrown and intercepted. Keely Ringo has an escort down the sidelines. All the way to the end zone. And Georgia is going to conquer the Crimson Tide.
Third down 9 from the 14-yard line. Miami leading 24-4, 8:16 to go in the ballgame. Here's Cleveland Gary to the 1. Touchdown. They say his knee did not touch. Cleveland Gary with the extra effort and another Miami touchdown.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
It's interesting that the highlight department chose to play that one for the 1987 Miami Hurricanes. That was the get even moment right there. The get even moment for your football team in the Cersei Sweet 16.
Very reflective, bro. That was my freshman year. First time going into the Orange Bowl against the Florida Gators. Nothing better, bro.
Yeah.
I hate to be the guy that has to say this, but that kind of stuff, that Cleveland Gary thing, it's not happening against Jalen Card and Jordan Davis. Forget about that.
So you say.
So you say.
What's the early score? We're in first quarter.
You haven't even announced the matchup. Relax, man.
Yeah, before we get to the 15-minute mark, just slow down.
We're already a half hour into the show. How are we not a quarter into the game?
Because we were talking draft.
Exactly.
I don't know if you remember the
things
first.
can happen at once, though.
I don't know if you remember the first segment. Just hang on.
In my mind, I have a score.
Yeah. Just hang on. All right. Highlights from 1987 with the Miami Hurricanes. Highlights from the Georgia Bulldogs in 2021 with the pick and ultimately sealing the game. So those are two national champions.
Two national championship teams.
And we have moved into the round. This is
we're still first round.
Still
first round.
Switch 16.
Yeah, we're still in the first round.
Okay.
All right. So
Hell
we're
of a
going to start with the 2021.
This is going a little longer than the basketball.
It is, bro. It
I
is.
forgot that you do the matchup. It's my fault. I apologize.
No problem.
I forgot you do
no
the
problem.
matchup.
No problem.
Because I love the matchup.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this thing done before the draft.
Or we'll just take it throughout the summer.
Oh,
Who
my
cares?
goodness gracious. All right, we got 2021 Georgia Bulldogs, 14-1 national champions. They play at Stanford Stadium. Between the hedges, head coach Kirby Smart, offensive coordinator Todd Monken, co-defensive coordinator Dan Lanning. Pro-style offense, 3-4 defense, led by Stetson Bennett. Now, their pathway to the championship started with a number 3 win. Beating the number 3 Clemson Tide 10-3. Oh, that was. I remember that. Remember how fun that was? It.
Yeah, and that wasn't.
That
yeah,
was the birth of
exactly.
DJU.
Huh?
That was the birth of DJU.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Slow and plotting. And
Man, that
They
was.
couldn't do anything offensively.
It was terrible. All right, after that, they beat number 8 Arkansas 37-0. They beat number 18 Auburn, number 11 Kentucky. Had to throw this in there. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah,
they
that
beat
is-
Florida 34-7. And then they end up going to the SEC championship game and they lose to Bama. Shocking.
Yeah.
Lost to Bama.
And you're thinking it's over.
Think it's over. It's a wrap. But they kept in the playoffs. They played Michigan. Impressive win against Michigan, 34-11. And then they get their sweet revenge in the national championship game against Alabama, 33-18. You're talking about a defense that only gave away 10 points per game, and 15 players on that roster got drafted the next year in the NFL.
Good God. There was like Quay Walker and all those guys.
All those guys.
Okay,
Kobe
add it
Dean
up.
and
Add up the
good
2-year.
God, that defense.
Add up the 2-year cumulative of who got drafted.
The back-to-backs?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, go ahead.
Not even close.
That's not even close. Crazy right there. All right, we go to the 1987 Miami Hurricanes. They went 12-0 that season. They play in the Orange Bowl, the OB, also known as the Mecca.
Mecca.
We were national champions that year. Jimmy Johnson was the head coach. Gary Stevens was the offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator was Dave Wanstead, and the secondary coach was none other than our Coach Campo. We ran a pro-style offense, 4-3 defense, and this team was led by quarterback Steve Walsh. In that season, we beat number 20 Florida 30-4. We beat number 10 Arkansas 51-7. We beat a number 4 Florida State team 26-25. Great game. I remember that game. I remember I was at Hurricane Mom's house, right?
Yeah.
And we're losing 16-3, and we getting up saying, "Oh man, this game is over." Hurricane Mom said, "Come and sit y'all down." Oh, and then she was right. We ended up coming back with that game.
The lasting memory is Michael Irvin streaking down the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
That's the lasting memory.
Absolutely.
Great moment.
Now, after that, we beat number 10 Notre Dame 24-0. We beat South Carolina, number 8 South Carolina 20-16. And in the finale, we beat Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl 20-14. Miami had 12 players drafted in the NFL draft that next year.
Okay, so 12
So that was my
versus-
freshman year.
Yeah, what was the other one? 13 for Georgia?
Georgia had 15.
15. Wow.
15.
That's a bunch.
That's a lot of NFL players.
Including the number 1 overall
And you got
pick.
to remember, we had 12 rounds back then. Y'all only had 7. Georgia
Y'all
had
struggled
7.
with South Carolina that year.
Yeah, we
Was that
struggled.
Todd Ellis playing quarterback on that team?
That was Todd Ellis, and that was
Sharp.
Sharp. Yeah, he gave us the business.
Yeah.
We had the bench clearing brawl, too.
Did you really?
I guess the game counts.
In the game?
Yeah, in the game at the Orange Bowl.
What happened?
Daniel Stubbs slammed the quarterback on his head after the whistle. And then both sides came
Well, I
to
would
collide.
think that would probably lead to
Yeah, it led
a
to
little bit of scuffle.
Yeah, there was a little scuffle.
I miss football, man.
Yeah, convicts.
Convicts against the Cox. Yeah, it must have been fun.
But I tell you what, Sterling Sharp, whoa.
Yeah, he worked us.
Yeah, he
Worked
was
us pretty
some
good.
kind of special.
I think he had 150 against us.
Yeah, he was a do-it-all and deserving of now getting a green jacket or a gold jacket and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm stuck on the green jacket from this past week. All right, so that's a good one. Okay, so you guys have Georgia in 2021, all the accolades that Leon just put on them, and then the 87 Hurricanes who came through the play-in into the first round of the Cersei Sweet 16 with that mythical matchup. Who wins it? You can go to X. You can vote there. You can, of course, shoot us a text on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures and let
Is
us
the
know.
game being played like in Vegas somewhere? Where's it being played? Where's the game being played?
Well, yeah, we're playing in Vegas. Why not?
All right.
We're playing in Vegas.
All right.
Yeah. Now, listen.
I kind of bullied him into that right there.
Now you bully me. But Vegas seems nice. Yeah, why not?
Let's go to like Rome, Barcelona.
Stay in the contiguous.
But here's the thing. I can already tell you this, that the interior matchups between our offensive line and their defensive line is outrageous, which means y'all got a 50-pound weight advantage. Let me just say that.
Right.
Off the bat.
Do I see a lean already?
I'm just telling you. And when I saw that, it was concerning to me when I saw that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So first quarter, you'll give it in a sec.
I'll give it in a sec, absolutely.
Okay. All right. But definitely go to X at 1010XL. Vote on which side you think that game would go in the mythical matchup, or you can hit us on the text line and let us know. You can jump in the YouTube chat with a comment there as well. Let's get back to the draft and some of the stuff that James Gladstone in particular had to say about this football team. And let's set it up just as far as the keys to what he's looking for. Mental toughness, really mental and physical toughness being two major pieces of the puzzle when they're trying to evaluate potential draft picks for this football team.
Physical and mental toughness, like that's a part of Intangibly Rich, and it's a big part of it. So those two elements will be top of mind. I mean, when you look at our draft day call sheet, the items that we're bucketing in that Intangibly Rich category are the largest, brightest number and color on our call sheet. And it's because that's where we start. At every point of player acquisition, that's where we start. Doesn't mean that it'll be exactly the order that we select in or pick or choose from, but it will be where we begin every decision.
All right, another one from Gladstone, cuts courtesy of Jaguars.com, just talking about the ability to move from the college game to the NFL game. And that's what it's all about when you're trying to determine which one of these guys can make that transition and excel on this next level.
Yeah, I think adaptability is going to be key through that. It's never going to be done until it gets sent into the league. So we'll have as many conversations as people are willing to engage on, and I don't think that now versus on the clock is going to be anything that I would say isn't of interest.
So trying to figure out who they can.
Good. Other than adapting. Yeah. Like they asked him about adapting during the draft to be able to trade.
Right, which is opposed to nobody would trade with us.
Right.
Remember that one.
Or just having like your mind set in stone, I'm not going to draft.
So we're talking about intangibly rich players and then buckets of different players. What if like intangibly rich and bucket became like one? An intangibly rich bucket.
Coach Campo would always refer to the buckets as well. So he might like that. I know this guy's full of big words and buzz terms, but I want to see what the player looks like. And then I missed on the adaptability, but that's 100%. I like that because you're trying to figure out, okay, hey, let's talk, man. We can make a deal if we feel like it's good for us, good for you. Let's make this thing happen. We'll see whether they are aggressive, whether they can pull it off, and not necessarily dupe the other side, but make sure they get what they want if they feel like they've targeted a guy.
If you can go from the 5th pick to the 13th and the 24th pick because you're trading back in, yes.
Yeah.
How about that? Yes.
Yeah. And so you like Trader Tom was the nickname for Tom Coughlin early in his GM / head coaching days here in Jacksonville because he could get on the phone with somebody and convince them, hey, I need this, you need this, let's make this happen. And he was good at it. All right, one more just as far as getting the whole scouting department together, all on the same page, same place, all that type of stuff, just as far as trying to figure out what either the majority or the consensus will be when it comes to filling out this draft board.
Having our scouting staff on site for the first time this week, all being under the same roof, it was really cool. We got a chance to sit down yesterday and chop through a large chunk of the prospects and got a chance to share with them my impressions of day one with them. And so often, let's just set the stage. You get into a draft meeting and each person has a piece of paper or a notebook in front of them or their laptop, and they're referencing their reports that they've done on each of the prospects, looking down, reading those reports out loud. Something I appreciate more than anything is when an evaluator or a scout treats those moments like you're at the water cooler, like you're just having a normal conversation as opposed to this boardroom meeting. And our group inherently did that. They made it just a natural conversation, and they didn't just revert to their notes, but rather what they already knew in their minds because they were so prepared for that moment on their own. So that was a really cool moment for me to see our scouting staff walk in the door as prepared as I could have ever hoped for those initial conversations. I used the phrase being a fighter, not a fencer, right? Instead of having to put on armor, pick up a sword to fight, they simply just had to close their fist. They were ready for that moment, and I look forward to the rest of the conversations that we're going to have here over the next 9 days and see what else settles as the cement begins to harden.
I love it, man. I love it.
Everything with him was an exact science.
Dude, it's some
Hey,
word
I put
salad,
my paper
bro.
down with my pen and open
When
my
they bring their laptops and they open it up and they have to press the on button and they turn the volume down.
I'm starting to get nervous.
I will not have you talk about Harry Potter.
We
this
better
way.
not be seeing
All right?
some Jalen Camp picks. Seriously.
I will not have you talk about Harry Potter this way, okay? He is coming in, and he's going to Sorcerer's Stone his way back to prominence in the National Football League. That's how it's going to go down, I'm telling you.
You're not getting a little bit squirrely at all?
A little. It's XL Primetime.
We could have picked any city, but we like it here.
That's all that matters to me.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
1010XL's draft previews are brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Mason Graham from Michigan has been a player many have connected to Jacksonville in this year's draft. Graham provides activity, effort, strength, and quickness, with a first step that makes the defensive tackle's interior disruption inevitable. And although he doesn't have the freakish size, length, or athleticism that others might offer, he is tough, consistent, and productive. And that's what the Teal and Black need inside.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 14, 2002, at the 66th U.S. Masters Augusta National Tournament, Tiger Woods becomes the third player to claim back-to-back Master titles.
Interest rates have plummeted. It's time to call Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here, and if you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of just days. Take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off your car loan. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs have put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation, but if you own a home, there's a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. Do it all by going to loanpronto.com or call 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumer access.org.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coil Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. If you need a fence, call Coil. You can trust the folks at Coil. 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. COYLE Jacks.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
I do love the interpretation from our XL Primetimers out there when it comes to the James Gladstone presser. Well, really the Jaguars pressers. They were meeting with the media local, talking about the prospects of what could happen beginning next Thursday night through Friday and Saturday in putting together this class of 2025. Don't forget, you guys have to go to Jaguars.com. Time is running out to get your ticket to draft night, which will be at the Lemon Bar. I can't wait to see what the scene looks like. It's going to be a little crazy at the brand new resort that the Kahn family, I think it might have been Stash Investments, acquired not that long ago. And that's where it will be instead of down at Daly's place next Thursday night. But one of our texters says, man, come on, guys, if you listened, Gladstone said game speed. Stetson Bennett was recorded going 22 miles per hour on several occasions. The fact that he picked Stetson should show you guys that he's going to pick winners, not measurables. Winners is what he's saying. The whole journey of their lives. And then he finishes with saying, that means he's not going to pick any Gators. So you can tell, the Bulldog.
You guys got to get off Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, the Bulldog.
We love you guys, okay?
Yeah.
And Stetson was a great college player.
He was a great
college player, but you got to stop at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the one that defined the Rams draft over the years. I really don't. But I feel this may not be a bad exercise, if you guys don't mind. JJ, do you have it all, like everything we want in this one? Like, okay, thank you. All right, so.
Wait, what do we got going on here?
All right, so that's a little bit of a cue. You recognize that, most of you out there, the dueling banjos back in the day. So
Deliverance.
We figured, well, yes, Deliverance. But this is just, listen, just because you hear banjos doesn't mean Deliverance all the time, okay? Just like the ukulele, okay? It doesn't mean the same thing every time.
My guess is if we polled our listeners right now on the text line,
they might
80%
squeal like a pig. Yeah, they might. But a banjo can happen in a lot of places, okay? Saloons, outposts, everywhere. But we felt it appropriate to put together a dueling banjos between the last GM and what we will call GM speak, and James Gladstone, the new GM, and his version of GM speak. So
I
JJ.
don't worry about what happened in 2021. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen in 23 or 24 here. Again, we can't control what happens in front of us. Whatever happens, happens.
My mind remains rooted in a lot of the same things that it always has been. And I think you all will remember this phrase, but focusing our attention on intangibly rich human beings and allow that to remain our North Star.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Okay?
You know what?
We can't control what's in front of us. Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
How did we not jump on that last year?
Oh, I'm pretty sure we did.
Yes, you can control what's in front of you.
Yeah.
What? That's a general managers of an NFL franchise saying we can't control what's in front of us.
Trent said, I can't worry about what happened before. I could go back and do the research and see what I did back in 2021. Yeah, you did it. You were the general manager, pal. Okay, so you do have to take ownership of that. And yeah, it is yours. Instead of going, well, whoever it was that was there that did it, not me. Come on. Versus Jimmy Glad / Harry Potter. Who would you rather have?
Talking about his North Star.
Yeah, I was going to say about the North Star. What's that all about, bro? I got to go with the flow.
It is the season of the North Star.
Yeah, that's true. I got to go with the flow, bro. You know, I'm optimistic, off-season optimistic.
That's right.
I got to roll with the punches.
I'm just telling you that North Star is going to deliver us to the promised land. Is what's happening.
You got till September.
Okay, baby Jesus, we're heading there. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't. I don't.
You don't know?
I'm not going to say I'm not feeling it because you guys get really upset when I say I'm not feeling it, but I'm just draft football players, man. They
haven't done it yet. Okay,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
He's not allowed to yet.
I just feel like
you want to talk about someone who says the same thing over and over. Just draft football players. That is pretty easy to say. Everyone
what
does.
If he went up there and answered every question today with it's like, I'm just going to go draft football players.
Everyone does draft.
I'm just going to draft football players.
I think I will.
Well, how many times do you say intangibly rich in buckets and
that's the North Star?
I think I would feel more comfortable with him if he say, you know what, we're going to get ballless here.
Yeah.
Hell with the measurables.
He doesn't talk like that.
I'm just saying, hell with the measurables. The film speaks for itself, and we're going to get ball play.
We're going to get offensive linemen that at the bottom of that pile, you have no idea what they're doing, and you don't want to know what they're doing. That's what I want to hear him say. Yeah. That's what I want to hear him say.
If he says it.
We're looking for the dirtiest players.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Yes. How about that? Yes.
Yeah. And I do like it. It's entertaining, but we all know that that's not going to happen. But, yeah, I think he is. When you take a look what the Rams have done on both sides of the ball, and he did have apparently a big hand in a lot of the decisions they made draft-wise. And then he also brought along with him from L.A. another guy who's part of this staff that also gets some credit for the deeper part of the draft. But they went out and they got guys that shined fairly early in their NFL careers and were further down the draft board because they were looking for things that they felt lined up with how they coach the game and play the game. And Sean McVay, he has proven in a short amount of time, youngest coach when he first came into the league, as being a guy that's extremely savvy and getting a lot of stuff out of his players. Never quits coaching. Even go back to the game against Philadelphia in that snow and freezing cold temperatures.
I still think if there was no snow that day, they'd have won that game.
End off.
They'd have won that game if there was no snow in that day.
They
were playing really well, like deep into the third quarter.
Yeah, and we're down in that football game. So I don't know how much he has gleaned from Les Snead or from the way Sean McVay likes to put a team together player-wise. But he had to have picked up something because that is a successful model.
Where does the intangibly rich come from? McVay or Les Snead? If you had to guess.
I would think it's out of the front office. Yeah. And even though Gladstone said it's him.
It does sound like a coach speak thing, though. It definitely does.
I don't know, man.
No?
I just think that is more personnel sounding. And it's just my hunch.
And that's like his daddy. That's like his career daddy. And he literally hired him right from his son's high school football team.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like he made him into
Isn't that
everything.
Crazy?
Yeah.
It really is when you think about it.
Sometimes that's what it takes, somebody to take you under your wing, man.
Yep. And you go back and you look at a lot of guys that have been successful, that have moved up through the ranks, a lot of them with humble beginnings. The classic, he started in the mailroom type of thing.
Yeah. What's his name with the Heat? Heat head coach was like just the video
Spoelstra?
guy. Yeah, Spoelstra.
And now like one of the greatest coaches in history.
Exactly.
And look at Howie Roseman, what he did when he first came in up in Philadelphia. And then the couple of guys that were underneath him that came through. I want to say, who am I thinking of? Veach in Kansas City. And it might have been Holmes up in Detroit. Anyway, a couple guys came in underneath Howie. They all had really good stories just as far as rising through the ranks and proving that they were smart enough to get the job done. So let's just come back to a little bit of news of the day that Shedeur Sanders is going to have a private workout with the New York Football Giants. how does that change your mind at the top of the draft board? The fact that are they now all of a sudden saying, you know what? We need to be really embracing the idea of maybe taking a quarterback with that third.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you got the GM and the head coach on the hot seat. There's no way they were going to let one of those quarterbacks and not take him between. I mean, we know Cam Wynlight's going to go first overall, but you've got to have some kind of centerpiece. I mean, Russell Wilson's not the answer. He's not the long-term answer moving forward. And then Shedeur Sanders can be your, I don't know if your scapegoat as far as depending on how your season goes, but immature quarterback. I'm not immature, but not as savvy a quarterback as Shedeur Sanders is. Comes in and plays his rookie year. Might buy you another year.
It might
if he plays, from the start. Because I can't imagine Russell Wilson starting over him. If you go and get Shedeur Sanders, number 3 overall, he's starting. He's going to play.
It's the quarterback, man.
Well,
I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna end there either.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart's gonna go in the top 5 too. He will go in the top 5.
So you're going to go, all right.
Yeah, I am going out.
We're making bets here. Hold on, we're making bets.
All
right, we already have a bet on Ewers. Quinn Ewers, of course.
That was
Matt
top
thinks he'll be
50.
taken in top 45.
No, it was top 50, but we canceled that.
We
day.
let him get away with top 50.
We canceled that, by the way.
What?
Yeah, we have. We've canceled that.
Okay, he has a lot of conversations with himself. He has
my God. That's pathetic.
We did cancel it, did we not?
No, we
I'll
did
stick
not.
with it. I don't care.
Why would Joe decide to cancel
I
a
definitely
winning
was not
bet?
canceling it. Yeah. Because, listen, I'm right now going back in time. My cousin Scott, he would just drop the ball and bat and just walk off. Okay,
These are crazy.
Take his ball and go home.
Crazy
It's Matt's
quarterback
favorite
times.
thing to do.
Crazy quarterback times. I think he's going to go in the top 5. I really do.
Okay, and so
I think the Browns are going to panic. What else do they have?
They don't. They really don't.
Didn't they just get Joe Flacco?
Yeah, they just went and got Flippin' Flacco to come back.
There's your answer.
Yeah, and so are they going to take a guy who is twice as old as the guy they potentially could take and say that's the direction they're going in? I don't think so. I still believe that quarterback is in play there as much as the New York Giants is. So the other part of this is, are the Giants thinking they got to jump into that number 2 spot to make sure that they get Shedeur? And then is Cleveland left holding the bag and say, Jackson Dart? I honestly, it's not a bad play. I don't know whether one could be fooled into moving up just one spot to guarantee they get the second best quarterback in the draft. I don't know.
But what if they don't think it's the second? What if they think Dart's the second best quarterback in the draft?
Yeah, they might. I don't know the answer to it.
And you're getting picks just to move back to take the guy you want already anyway.
Yeah, and that would be a huge coup if it panned out and played out that way.
So you got quarterback 1, 2, and 3.
I didn't say 1, 2, and 3. I think he's going in the top 5. I do.
It'll have to be 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, so let's set this up.
Maybe someone else who might need a quarterback too, Leon.
Cool. Well, the only 2 teams in the top. The Patriots have Drake May, and we've got Trevor.
Yeah.
No, I mean there may be somebody.
Somebody will move in. Maybe the Raiders move in, something like that. Okay.
So let's set this up because there are 2 potential teams at the very least that might want to jump ahead of Jacksonville to get a quarterback, to make sure they get a quarterback. So let's do that coming up. It is XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes. Check out his stuff at USA Today Sports. Big Cersei and JJ. The Hurricane Hall of Famer's got his mythical Sweet 16 going on right now. It is the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs against the 87 Miami Hurricanes. First quarter
halftime
score.
score. Got halftime score.
Halftime. Wow.
Halftime
quick.
score. Yeah. 23-10. Georgia.
Oh, wow. Ooh. Are you exacting your revenge against your old quarterback down there in Miami?
No. I just saw the weight limit between the two.
They're pushing us around.
They're pushing us around.
No question about it, huh?
Yeah.
All right, 23-10.
Halftime score.
Oh, wow. All right, we're going to find out whether the old coach down in Miami's got a halftime speech in him, something like, I don't know, where he would read them the riot act and get in their ear a little bit. You think maybe that's possible?
Jimmy's got
I want to kick their ass. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, have you guys heard Kirby Smart's halftime speeches?
No, I bet it's
very similar.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let us know. 23-10 at the half. Right now, Georgia running away with it against the Miami Hurricanes from 1987. Mythical matchup, the Cersei Sweet 16. Just go on X at 1010XL or jump on the text or the YouTube chat and tell us who wins that one.
The roar of the crowd. The theater of your mind. It comes alive in your ears. Showtime! Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. 1010XL.
Mia here, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. What you really want to know is, why buy from Arlington Toyota? How about over 800 vehicles, one lot, 60-day exchange, and friendly credit for everyone? Plus, right now, get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or how about no payments till August 2025? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Draft season is here, and so is Mia's Mock Draft Mondays. And this year, we're powered by One Night Taco Stand. Each week, I'll unveil a new set of possible targets for the Big Cats on the 1010XL social channels and 1010XL.com. Let's talk about it on 1010XL.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contracting protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement and repairs. Financing is available with monthly payments as low as $115. But this deal ends April 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Denny Thompson here. You got to check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. The Jacksonville University men's lacrosse team dropped a close one in Salt Lake City on Saturday, falling to the Utah Utes 17-14 in a back-and-forth offensive showdown. Sophomore midfielder Jack Taylor continued to produce big for the Dolphins with a 5-goal, 2-assist game, while junior attackmen Jackson and Trary followed close behind with 3 goals and 3 assists. Although unfortunately falling short to a talented Utah team out west, the Dolphins have back-to-back games at home the next 2 weekends, starting with Bellarmine this Saturday at 11:30. The Gators baseball team is down in DeLand tonight for their midweek matchup with Stetson at 6:30. The Gators are searching for their second victory over Stetson this season to complete the sweep over them after sweeping Missouri over the weekend. It's 83 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey guys, listen to me. I need all your eyes and ears, okay? This is what we train for. This is what we work for. This is who we are. We sat right here and we got an identity game against Missouri on the road. You know what? It was very similar to this. It was sloppy. It was nasty. It wasn't pretty. And then we came out and we found a way. We always said it would not be pretty. Here's the goal for the second half. We're going to get about 6 possessions on offense. 6 possessions, y'all got me? Including the first one. We're going to score on 4 of them, okay? They might score once more on defense, but that's it. You understand? And we're going to win the game. We're going to come back in here and have a good time and figure out how we can get better. But this is what I need. This is what I need. Anybody listening? We need to win one moment at a time. What's the first moment? Kickoff return.
Georgia is trailing. It is not how things usually go in Athens.
What's the next moment? The first play on offense.
Beck wants to throw deep. He's got Rah-Rah.
Not the drive, the first play.
And Rah-Rah makes the catch.
We're going to win one moment at a time because we're not outcome related. We're not worried about the outcome of that play. We're worried about winning a moment, Ernest. Can I win one moment? And then everybody, look at every time you say one more moment, coach. You say one more moment for us. We say it. One more moment. One more moment. Marcus, one more moment. You got me? You look me in the eye and tell me, Rah-Rah, it's going to be one more moment on the fade. One more moment, and we go kick their ass about how we play. Let's go. Let's go.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, Billy Napier saying, if we just stick to our principles, we've got a chance to compete at a very high level. What an unbelievable speech from Kirby. My gosh, man. That's what he does.
That's the motivator.
Ratchets it up.
They won that game.
Oh, my gosh.
But they were trailing South Carolina at halftime.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago. That was a big game.
But the way he coaches with that fever pitch, that intensity, and sometimes, invariably, there's going to be a player that goes, you know what, I'm tired of hearing this, Kirby. I've heard enough of it, and I am done. But at the same time, so many other guys respond to that. Because he is you on the football field. That's how he pictures it.
Well, I mean, winning is the linchpin. Yeah. I mean, with those kind of speeches, they go to deaf ears if you're losing. But if you're winning football games, you're tuned in. You're focused in.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just awesome. So the reason JJ pulled that delicious soundbite up was Kirby versus Jimmy Johnson in 1987 in Leon's mythical national championship matchup between the champions of 87 and the champions of 21. What type of fiery speech does Jimmy give at the half? Because his team's trailing 23-10.
He did something because there's a little funky going on right
the
now
Cersei scoreboard
in Las Vegas right now. That's all I'm saying.
So second half numbers, we go into the second half, 1987 Miami against Georgia of 2021.
What's going on there, Leon? Because I see some weird stuff going on in Vegas right now.
Well, it's 23-10. We're in the third quarter right now. Halfway through, the score's now 23-17, Georgia.
Okay, so they draw within a one score.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they make it a one-score game.
Mm-hmm.
Canes ain't done yet.
No, they're not.
That's all I'm saying. The Canes ain't done yet.
And who scored on that one? That had to be a big play.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, of course. I knew it.
Irvin, of course.
Walter Irvin. Yeah.
All right, so go to X, 1987 Miami, 2021 Georgia. Go to @1010XL. You can see all of our
bracket.
Yeah, our whole bracket.
Y'all can see where this is going. It's 23-17 right now.
Mm-hmm.
One score makes it 24.
Yeah, we can do the math.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, that's all I'm saying.
We got to figure out what happens.
Yeah,
Watch.
it's crazy how it could go. All right, now
this is the lowest scoring of all of Leon's games by far.
Yes.
Well, listen, there's two outstanding defense. I had to take that to factor in.
Yeah, and you know what he did?
The weight disparity between our offensive line and their defensive line is chilling. Okay,
Had to clear your throat before you got
to say the least.
Give us the number.
Because the numbers, when I looked it up, the offensive line average weight of our team back then, 87, was 272. The average of Georgia's defensive line front is 320.
God. But something happened. Something happened at halftime because there's a little turn right now.
Well, we got the ball first.
Well, I just know that right now Vegas was tired of getting hammered with the over, and what happened? The selection committee turned a major corner, and they're going to get Vegas big on this one.
Well, I had to show both defenses their due respect.
Yeah.
All right. Had to show both defenses their due respect. I couldn't have no 50. It's not going to be those kind of numbers.
All right, so let's see where this thing goes. But the gap is closed a bit, 23-17, a one-score game. All right, so let's take Kirby with that fiery speech he gave a couple of seasons ago. And what type of fiery speech is he giving himself about what happened up in Tennessee? You, Matt, laid out the possibility yesterday that it's not impossible that Nico, with even everything he did up in Knoxville, basically holding Rocky Top hostage for a bigger payday. And apparently, we don't know this 100%, but allegedly, he said, I ain't playing any more games in January unless I get a bump. And we all know what happened. The end result was he leaves. He's now going to be headed in the transfer portal, beginning tomorrow? And
beginning the 16th. By the way, you have to win a playoff game in December to get to the playoff games in January, which Nico didn't. So...
That's true.
Just, FYI.
Yeah. And so the demand that he made came when on the calendar?
The point he was making was he's thinking it's only for 12 games. It's not for getting to the playoff and beyond.
Yeah. Can you believe and I love looking at Leon and asking these questions, which I already know the answer to because of the way he's wired. But can you imagine a guy going, you know what? The way I'm doing the math, I got paid to play 12 games. And now we're playing extra games. I need more money. No, I don't think that would go over well in your locker room.
No, it wouldn't. And I think that's probably the main reason why Nick left. Because I was saying I can't imagine a kid going to Nick Saban and say, "Hey, Nick, I need more money." This is the same narrative. I mean, he feels that going. But how many players do we know in the NFL who are average at best who want new contracts? I mean, because he's essentially saying,
I would argue every single average at best player in the NFL.
Well, I'm just saying he feels like he's outplayed his contract.
Yeah.
And that's why he's asking for more money.
In the middle of a supposed run for a championship.
Well, he's also talking about getting paid for games. He played in one game in his freshman season, the bowl game.
Yeah.
He started one game.
Right.
So he's basically been paid $4 million for 14 games of work.
Right. He didn't mind getting paid that first lump sum money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I think at the end of the day with Josh Heupel, it was, all right, this is going to be a problem for the locker room. Unless we go and we're 10-2 or 11-1 and we get in the playoff, this is going to be a problem in this locker room. He knew it, and at that point you got to cut bait. You have to, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, they had to. I'm just wondering what type of conversations head coaches have to be having, maybe even with the mirror, about how they're going to handle it when one of their guys steps up and says, "I'm going to."
I mean, he's not even an elite quarterback.
No.
I mean, I can understand if he was an elite, but you got to look at the people that are behind the scenes. They're just as insightful as he is asking for this new money. I mean, family, his so-called people, handlers, that kind of stuff. So I mean, as much as he's getting smudged around in the media, and rightfully so,
right? Because he's the player.
When you make you're no longer an amateur. When you're making this kind of money and you ask for money and you're not elite, you get smudged but the people that's working for him. I mean, we need names.
This doesn't sound like an agent thing. This sounds like
no, bro.
This sounds like someone close to him.
Dad.
This sounds like someone close to him thing.
Okay,
because
so,
an agent would also be smart enough to realize, all right, this isn't going to look good for those 32 teams where you're trying to get. What you're doing right now is not good. That's fine that you want to renegotiate, but renegotiate, at the end of the season, not 4 days before the transfer portal's opening, where you clearly have leverage.
He's a 19-year-old kid, though. He's not fully functional brain-wise, okay? I mean, all the neurons aren't firing.
Is Harrison Bailey about to put a hand down on the table and tell Billy Napier he needs more cash after the spring game? Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen?
I mean, if something happens with DJ Lagray and he goes under the knife and he can't play this year, if I were Harrison Bailey, I'd say I want a little more cash.
Or
really.
what about the
Dallas?
actual good kid? Yeah, Dallas,
Wilson.
the wide receiver. He's like, hey, now that I'm, all you guys know how good I am, maybe I could jump in this spring portal if I want to, unless you give me more money. Like, what's stopping any of these guys?
There's nothing to, or maybe they gave him a boatload already.
Right.
You know what I
we
mean?
assume that.
Yeah, but we've learned this much. Nico got a boatload already, and is not happy.
Still wanted more. Yeah. No, there's no doubt. I mean, it's that's where you are. That's why what I wrote this morning is you've got to treat the players like coaches now. There's got to be buyouts.
Yeah,
that's the only way. At the very least, you get some kind of pregnant pause in the whole situation where they have to think, well, who's going to pay the buyout? Is the other team going to pay the buyout? Am I going to have to pay the buyout? You know what I mean?
Oh,
At the very least, you've got that hesitation. Because right now, there's nothing. It's just green lights the whole way.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're driving down Bay Street and all those lights, and it's just green.
Yeah.
That's what it is right now.
Yeah,
all the way.
Yeah, and it's something else to be in this situation and not have any answers or handbook to go to.
Right.
And say before, if there were rules violations, you go to the handbook, at least find out what you can and can't do. It's just nuts.
I just couldn't imagine doing that to my son.
Yeah.
Using my son's career as like a pawn for a couple more mil.
Right. And this is not a helicopter dad.
Sick.
This is like a Brinks dad.
Yeah, it's really nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
And they believe what they believe, and they think that their son
entitled to it, I guess.
Should be compensated properly, at least in their mind, and they can definitely convince themselves of a lot of things. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but the thought process of someone who thinks like that, knowing that his kid has played in 14 total games at Tennessee, and he's earned $4 million for it.
Right.
The thought process of someone thinking,
we
hey,
need more.
Let's hold Tennessee over a barrel because they've got nothing behind him,
crazy.
and the portal's opening in 4 days.
And if he punched in his highlight reel, it might have ended shorter or sooner than he would have realized because he didn't make enough plays.
It's almost malicious. So
to his career.
To his career, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless we find out that they know there's a landing spot already.
That's very likely could be
exactly.
true. Yeah.
Like Oregon already has the door wide open, or I'm just saying them.
Just imagine if
we'll know tomorrow when the portal officially opens.
Yeah, and he still doesn't have to declare, like you said. He's still got plenty of time before. But just imagine if Dante Moore waited for Dylan Gabriel to leave, and then Nico walks in, and Dante's still got to take a seat.
Or he'll just go to Tennessee.
Yeah,
he'll get in the portal and go to Tennessee.
Maybe, but Dante's not done anything to this point that we've seen.
He was pretty good at UCLA his first year.
Well, then he should have stayed, and
he should have. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he's not done a whole lot.
But he left because Chip Kelly left. So
yeah, he started how many games down there? Not a ton.
No, he started about 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's not a lot. Jaden Rashada started 3 or 4, right?
Right, but he started that little because he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't he was injured and was a freshman.
Yeah.
It was a combination of reasons why he didn't
right,
start.
But he was a 5-star. Anyway, it's just interesting to watch. I love this from Travis Hunter, and give me more. He basically says if he can't play both ways, he's quitting football.
Did he say
Love that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's basically
Very
letting
Ohtani-ish.
And it's almost like he's saying, hey, whoever it is that gets me is lucky enough to get me. You're going to get me on both sides of the ball. You better figure out a way to get me on both sides of the ball. And it may not be full time, and he's not telling you that, but he basically says, here's his quote. It's never playing football again because I've been doing it my whole life, and I love being on the football field. I feel like I could dominate on each side of the ball, so I really enjoy doing it. So he's not threatening. He's just saying, I'll quit.
The Shield heads are so pissed about that.
They don't know how to handle it.
I mean, I've heard countless draft nicks be like, "Oh, there's no way. It's just not gonna. That's not how it works." I've heard former players say it. I was never really a fan of this kid at all. I don't care about him, but now I really want him to prove others
and he
wrong.
seems like he is
I hate Shield heads so much.
I do too. Absolutely.
But he seems like he's a cool, composed cat on the field and off the field.
Give him the opportunity to see. I mean, if he can get it done or not.
Right.
I mean,
he might be the guy. If what I say happens, if Jackson Dart goes in the top 5, right?
Could have it here.
You might be staring him here because I can't imagine the Patriots doing anything other than taking Abdul Carter, right?
Yeah, they'd have to, but it's just such an awesome opportunity. Whoever gets their hands on him to find out, and we have seen just basically the way sports evolves. Every time you think something isn't doable, manageable, or whatever, somebody steps up and starts doing it. And then you're like I'm going to ask Gio about this tomorrow. There's a switch pitcher now that's coming up in the minor leagues.
Like a lefty and righty?
Yeah. Not a switch hitter, a switch pitcher.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, and I asked Gio tomorrow, like, what will that do mechanically, and maybe is he more prone to injury?
Well, maybe if you get Tommy John in one, you could just flip it around.
It's just crazy.
Are we talking like pitch by pitch or batter by batter?
I think you have to switch
game by
per
game.
batter.
I don't even know. I'll look it up, but I made the note to ask him tomorrow, but I'll look it up.
Like, because batters can switch either way.
Not during an at-bat.
Oh, they can't?
No.
Once you declare, you step in the batter's box.
So then it would have to be pitch.
Yeah, you're on that side. So probably player to player, but I was wondering if it might have been game to game, and then you're talking 3 days rest or something. I have no idea, but it's just kind of cool when you think about it. All right, XL Primetime, talking draft, talking a little college football. What's the next coach going to do with the next guy that decides he's going to hold out? You guys can let us know, 641-1010. Tell us what you're thinking.
1010XL.
I'm talking about friendship, loyalty, honor. Okay?
Honored to be your friend. Honored to serve you Jacksonville Sports Radio.
That's the corniest thing I've ever heard.
1010XL.
Spring and summer are coming. Will your pool deck be ready? Don't Slip Deck Coatings of Jacksonville has you covered. Their multi-layered slip-resistant coatings come in a variety of colors, adding safety, durability, and style to your outdoor spaces. Plus, they offer slip-resistant solutions for inside your home, too. Long-lasting, affordable, and built to protect your family. Don't wait. Call today for a free quote, 904-466-1839. And follow Don't Slip Jacks on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread, carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving we've all accepted as normal? That's gone. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but there's a difference now. I no longer feel like I need it. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, I'm good. That feeling of control, everyone, is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 100. Baloo's on his way. And you can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 Weight Loss will get you there quickly and safely. A clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life. It'll change yours too. Awaken180weightloss.com. 844-346-1800.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage. Bridge 2. Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
With so many competitive pest services in town, you might wonder why Kingfish Pest Control's business is booming while similar companies seem to be struggling. It all comes down to service, affordability, and effectiveness. Kingfish Pest Control is a local family-owned company who delivers on their promises to effectively control pests like ants, spiders, roaches, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Your home is their priority, so call today and discover why your neighbors and your buddy Hayes Carlion trust Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Florida Home AC wants to make sure you're super cool when things heat up and toasty warm when the temps drop. Indoor comfort for you all year long is what they're going for. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com to score great deals on an AC tune-up and keep the temperature perfect.
Enjoy a great day of golf and support Eagles View Academy Athletics. Friday, May 2nd at the newly renovated Bent Creek Golf Course. 8:30 shotgun start, best ball format. Find out more at EVAWarriorsAthletics.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Oh, I love it. We get the ukulele fired up. We got a little perfecto from the Atlantic to the Pacifico.
Why don't you just call it the Uyangalele? That would be funnier.
Yeah.
That would be fun. If you just started calling it that would be funnier.
Funnier than me just saying the ukulele?
Yeah. If you just start calling it Uyangalele, that would be hilarious, actually.
All right. I don't know whether I'll be able to remember that or not, but the Uyangalele, I have no idea. But the delicious Mexican lager found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life, anchors up. You definitely can enjoy a delicious Pacifico wherever you're out and about and enjoying. All right, so let's get to even though we were talking a little college football, let's get to a little college basketball as I wrap up my last. I think this is my last from the college basketball world. Who knows? I may find one more. But I need to know the college basketball coach that is active with the most NCAA tournament wins without an NCAA title. I would love if you guys could get within, I don't know, 5 or 10 of how many he's won. But that's what I'm looking for mainly. Coach with the most wins in the tournament, active without a national championship.
Wow.
It's probably Rick
Got to be
Barnes.
Mark Few. Mark Few, I guess, is who I'm guessing. At Gonzaga, and I'm going to say, could be Rick Barnes too, JJ. I'm going to say Mark Few, and it's going to be 26 wins.
I'm gonna say,
that's way too many. No. 21.
I'm going to say Rick Barnes with 22 wins.
I have no idea.
All right. All right. The answer is, forget about the number. I never should have asked about the number.
Okay.
All right.
But it is a perfecto for one Matt Hayes.
Oh.
So I was way over at 21, right?
Yeah, it's closer to 50 now. I mean,
Whoa.
it's just
50 wins he has?
He's over 40 right now.
Oh, I
and Rick Barnes is creeping closer and closer because he's right now, I believe, at 29. And Rick Barnes is now. I wanted it to be Rick Barnes because you know how much I love to dog him. But Mark Few has won a ton of basketball games.
I guess so. You're talking about 20-something years. If he's averaging like, I don't know, even if he
One
averages
and a half
two,
a year.
even if it's 2 wins, he's over. Yeah. So I was way under that.
Yeah. So anyway, a pretty good crew because the other guys that are at the top that are still active, we know who those guys are.
Right.
And now you're looking at, okay, who's the next best guy to have not won a title? Few and Barnes are going to be talked about a bunch. Kelvin Sampson will, but Kelvin Sampson, what was it, his birthday?
Yeah.
Last Monday, right? When he was turning how old? 70? Does that sound right? Or 69?
70, I believe.
Yeah. I think he might have been turning.
He would have had his 800th win.
Yeah.
By winning the national championship.
Right. It would have been that. That's why I started feeling like, oh my gosh, a little destiny at work
Right.
With Kelvin Sampson.
He
But
has
anyway.
31 wins. He's 31 and 20. Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah. So he's taken a lot of good teams a long way and had been in position to make it to what I believe is third or fourth Final Four, and looked like he had it. He really did. And so I don't know exactly what he does mentally after being that close this time and not, does he?
They're going to have a great team next year, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he might get it next year.
He might. He's still a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But Barnes is going to get clobbered. And Mark Few, I don't think he'll ever really feel the pressure because it's Gonzaga. What they do is just they overachieve.
Yeah, he's destined to be Mike Martin.
Yeah,
what he is.
Maybe in the basketball world. But Mike Martin would get his team to the College World Series and had the most appearances and just never was able to win the national title at Florida State. But that was also in baseball terms of blue blood.
Hell yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, they're blue blood. But has Gonzaga, because I would never look at Gonzaga and say
they're a blue blood?
I don't think so. They've kicked out some good players.
It's the lack of winning a natty that you can't just can't call them that.
Can you? Yeah. And by the way, are there more Nimhards that are going to come through Gonzaga up there in Spokane?
They have 2 Final Four appearances under Few.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
2017, 20. Yeah, so his overall record in the tournament is really impressive, though.
Yeah.
It's 44 and 25.
It's so good.
And Rick Barnes is less than impressive. It's 33 and 28, only 5 games above 500. And then Kelvin Sampson has 31 wins, so a couple less than Rick Barnes, but he only has 20 losses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rick Barnes has lost 28 tournament games.
Yeah,
That's
like I
gotta
said,
be a record.
he is the great underachiever in tournament basketball and against the spread.
28 tournament games he's lost.
Yeah.
He's only won 5 more, and like we said, he had Kevin Durant that one year. And it's not like you say, well, wait a minute, he only had him 1 year. There are plenty of other head coaches that have that star for that 1 year and take it to the promised
Jim
land.
Boeheim.
You mean Todd Golden's lost?
Exactly, with Carmelo.
You mean Todd Golden's lost?
Todd had everything come together for him. He really did. But he didn't have that one and done guy like we're talking about.
He's had 1 loss in the tournament.
2.
2? He lost to San
I'm
Francisco?
sure Stanford. Yeah, he's 6-2.
I didn't know they went to the tournament, did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
last year.
And they're 6-2 then. Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's what Strickland hired him off of, was an NCAA tournament appearance. And that wasn't the only reason he hired him, but that was off of that. And I think San Francisco. I'm trying to
they were
remember.
24-10 in his last year there.
Okay, so that means they only made it one time under him.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. And just take a look at what he was able to do after having making it to the tournament last year and then quickly being eliminated by Colorado, and then coming back this year and obviously having everything come together.
You know what's funny is the player movement has all but negated the one and dones now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It has helped. It really has. You're still having the Cooper Flags.
The elite
are.
guy.
There's no doubt you are, but I mean, but the era of building a national championship team like Cal tried to do so many times at Kentucky, like Krzyzewski did at Duke.
Well, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, it's no longer you just can't do the one and dones anymore.
Well, it's like we mentioned the guys that are coming back. Walt coming back. Toppin coming back this year. The guys that are coming back.
They're 23, 24-year-old kids playing against 18-year-old kids.
Yeah, and that was really the difference between Houston and Duke, was the average age, the experience of the Houston Cougar roster versus the young, I shouldn't say inexperienced, because Knippel, great player.
Yeah, sure.
And obviously Cooper Flagg, we know how good he was, but still.
But it's that
inexperienced
mental
on that level.
toughness, too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Florida would have beaten Duke, too. It's just the mental toughness of those older guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes a long way. Speaking of mental toughness and older guys, 87 Miami closed to within a score against the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs in the Cersei Sweet 16. This mythical matchup is going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we're midway through. 30-23.
30-23. Both of them basically answered the bell. Both scored. That means
Is that those 2 field goals for the Canes, or they missed the extra point?
They missed the extra point.
Son of a gun.
It happens, man. It happens.
All right, 30-23 midway through?
Yeah, midway through.
You guys got a drive in you?
We have to.
You go for 2?
Good question. Jimmy never goes for 2.
Oh, is Cleveland Gary on that
Oh, yeah. So what overtime rules are there? Are we using the Georgia 2021 overtime or 1987?
I think we're going to go old school with this.
No OT.
No OT.
No go for 2.
No.
None of that
It's
stuff.
a tournament. I mean, you kind of have to have a winner.
We have no rules. We have no rules in this tournament.
No, he's saying you're just getting into overtime and that's it.
Yeah.
You're just playing. There's
Yeah.
none of this like after you go 3 times, you go from the
Go
2.
for 2.
You're just
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, none of that. Okay. All right. We'll have an update. But right now, a 1-score game between 2021 Georgia, 1987
I have a feeling
Miami.
about the Canes in this game, and I don't know why.
We'll see.
I'm not that nervous because I know there's another Miami team still in the tournament, even if we lose.
That's that keeps the hope of this mythical national championship alive. It is XL Primetime.
I did not see this one coming.
Radio play-by-play is like stepping in a theater in your mind.
As good as it gets.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hey, this is Coach Jason Gibson of your Jacksonville Sharks. I know the importance of a strong game plan, and that's exactly what I've got with Clay Solar Installation Partners. They did the install of the solar panels at my house, and I couldn't be happier. Lower energy bills, clean power, and a winning team that made the whole process easy. If you're looking to save money and go solar, trust the pros at Clay Solar. Call Karen at Clay Solar today and tell them that Coach Gibson sent you.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Charles.
6.
Oh, so close. Betty for the steal.
What about the bank that helps you reach your financial goals? Synovus.
Let's see, judges. Yes, looks like we have a winner.
That's a number?
Sorry, Charlie. Remember, a solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Talk with Synovus about your potential today. Brought to you by Synovus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. The number was 4.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 15, 1979, at the 43rd U.S. Masters Tournament, Bussy Zeller wins his only Masters title with a birdie on the second hole of a playoff with Ed Snead and Tom Watson.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndSandy.com.
1010XL's draft previews are brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Abdul Carter would be a tremendous pick if he falls to the Jaguars at 5. The former Nittany Lion got pressure on 18.5% of his pass rushes last season, helping him register 12 sacks and 23.5 tackles for loss. His ability to play off the ball and off the edge will draw comparisons to Micah Parsons, and that would be a welcome addition to the teal and black arsenal already on the edge that features Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is the fourth quarter is almost ending. 4 minutes left to go. Miami surprise onside, gets the ball.
Oh, boy.
Drives down, scores.
Oh, boy.
Jimmy pulls the extra point team off the field. The offense is on the field. Miami's going for 2 to win.
Oh, boy.
And what do we have? Steve Walsh, the Cleveland Gary, the back of the end zone, 2-point conversion. Miami wins.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
31-30.
I'm sweating.
You go from down 23-10, you think it's over. You think Georgia's got complete control of the game. And the Canes just come out and dominate in the second half. Apparently that Kirby Smart halftime speech that we had our microphones in on didn't work.
Deaf ears. Deaf ears.
This is easily one of the best comebacks in the history of the tournament.
Wow. That's
I'll just tell you
that's a shocker.
much.
That's the first shocker of the tournament right there.
The second half, as far as some of our XL primetimers on the text line, a lot of alphabet soup coming our way from the texters. Some, I don't know. I don't even know what some of these means.
These guys are not going to be happy, by the way.
Like WTF, I don't know what that means. Alphabet soup, LMFAO, I don't know what that means. SMH, yes, these are all coming flying in at us right now.
I mean, to be fair, on X right now, it's 50-50.
Okay. That's old school. Okay.
Can't win them all, Bulldogs.
Cannot win them all. Although you're out of the tournament now. Dogs are now out of the tournament.
Yeah, you can't win this one.
I love the look at Leon on Leon's face.
He has no shame.
Dogs are now out of the Cersei 16.
So who does 87 play next?
87 plays Florida State 2013.
I wonder how that's going to go.
God.
I think
Jameis might win now.
Ending of that.
Look, I might be completely off here, but I have a feeling this tournament's like careening towards 87 Canes versus 2001 Canes.
Are they on the same side of the bracket? Is that even possible to get a final, a double
No, they're
final?
on opposite sides of the bracket.
So they were playing the semis.
Oh, that, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't think of anything I would love more than that.
No, they would have to play in the finals.
They were playing the finals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's definitely where this is headed. There's no doubt about that, man.
A double parade after a tie? After they both, before the game, decide to just knee it out?
Yeah, it's like 28-28 the end of the fourth quarter, and they both just look at each other and say, we're both champions. That's it.
I wouldn't know. Come on now.
And then it's just CANES the whole way, man. Wow. All right, my
Matt.
takeaway is I'm shocked by this turn of events in the Cersei 16. Absolutely shocked. I don't even know what to say at this point. My takeaway is we're 9 days away. We are 9 days away. Let's get some football players. Yes, thank you, JJ. At the end of the day, this franchise needs football players.
We need to draft football players.
Oh my gosh, he went back to it.
Look, you guys got sick of guard. And
Okay.
I hate to say I was right then, too, but, y'all made fun of me then, too.
This is our very own Gladstone. We have him on our show.
I want some intangibly rich football players in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Mentally and physically
and physically tough players in that bucket, too.
And it's not easy to have hardware and software, okay? Unless you're Bill Gates or somebody. It ain't easy, all right?
Something about the North Star.
Yeah, exactly. Follow the North Star.
I just don't want that first pick to come down, and then the next day we're on the radio and we're like, what the hell just happened?
Well, I am looking at it more enthusiastically than you are.
Okay, I know you are. You're July Joe, and I respect that. That's all. I respect that.
Because the last thing I want to put on this guy is the expectation that he's going to be just as bad as the previous GMs. I don't want to do that.
I respect that too.
And he was hired, I think, from good stock. If you go back and think of all the other guys that have been appointed GMs here, how many of them had good stock? Well, Tom Coughlin was never a GM before. He just ran his college program, and he did a pretty dang good job as a general manager. He might have spent to the limit, might have overspent in the end, but still, all in all, he had an eye for talent.
Had the franchise in position to get to the Super Bowl a couple times, so it's hard to argue against him.
Yeah, it really is. And then after that, they go with Shaq. Shaq came from good stock. He was under the Aussie tree up in Baltimore, but it also did not work out here. And so as
there was no osmosis there, apparently.
No, unfortunately, there wasn't. And then then Gene Smith. Gene Smith didn't come from anybody. He came from a small,
and I'm not sure what was there.
Yeah, small school. He grew up with the Jaguars, started in the trailer, and then rose through the ranks like a couple of these other guys that we're talking about. Oh yeah, he was there, and so then he became GM. That didn't work. Then Dave Caldwell came under I believe the Thomas Dimitroff tree. up in Atlanta, and we all know that didn't work. And then Balky retread at that GM position didn't work. And so now this guy, at the very least, he's coming from good stock. And so we're just going to find out whether or not he's got the keys or the recipe down to find the right guys and plug and play, know when to say goodbye to a guy, know when to offer another guy a contract extension, know which guys to draft. We really don't know, but at least he comes from good stock.
Sturdy stock.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying? Sturdy stock?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I need it, And Les Snead, I have to remind myself and everybody else, he was close to getting canned when they were in St. Louis. And that may have been because he had Jeff Fisher as his head coach.
Right.
Because Fisher could find his way to an 8-8 record no matter what he did. And they were average. And then he goes out to LA and all of a sudden things just start to turn in the proper direction for Les. And then obviously hiring Sean McVay was a major, major move on his part. And it's worth pointing out that, at least this is how I remember it. Correct me if I'm wrong on the text line. Les Snead hired Sean McVay, made him the youngest head coach in the National Football League. He handpicked him. He took that chance, whereas James Gladstone came in after Liam Cohen. He didn't handpick Liam. And so they have the relationship together. They are buds. They say that they've come up with this phrase, intangibly rich together, because that's what the coach and that's what the GM wants. I hope it works. That's really all you can say. When you think about what they're going to ultimately put together, you got to see what it looks like before I can ever judge that it's going to be a good, bad, or a fail or a success.
I would like to know how they can assess a mentally and physically strong player by watching film.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because you can't in the NFL. To be quite honest with you, you can't simulate that kind in practice anymore because you don't have that much time. I mean, because I know how we got mentally and physically in training camp. How there were simulations in training camp that tested our psyche and our physicalness because we had to get our bodies acclimated for the season. So he wants guys to come in mentally and physically tough. I'll be interested to see how he can assess that by watching film, college film,
and whether or not it would have been beneficial for the 30 visits that you can bring in terms of prospects that you're allowed to do that interview and find out, are they mentally tough? I don't know, but I think it's a good question because you're sitting there trying to figure out the makeup of the individual. Where's his ceiling? Can he grow more? Can he be better? All that stuff.
Now, if you're watching the fourth quarter of a game, maybe your team is losing and the defense has to stop them, and you're looking at a defensive lineman. How in the fourth quarter, does he wilt? Does he make mistakes? Is he in his gap? All that. There are variables that you can use. I'm sure that they're probably assessing. I was just thinking in the fourth quarter, that's when you can really tell if a guy's mentally and physically tough. It's in the fourth quarter where it counts the most. Are you doing the best?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the mental toughness that you're talking about. And I bet Tony Baselli had something to say inside that building about making this team more mentally tough based on what you guys experienced back. Yeah. That has
both Tony and I came from storied programs, USC, Miami at that particular time, and we had already had the attributes of that kind of stuff. That even though they still used it. We simulated it in practice so that we knew that when we got into tough times during the season that we could activate that. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why we had training camps and we had 2-minute drills and 4-minute drills and one-on-ones and middle drill and blitz drill and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you somehow or another you need to find it. And I think when you look at players and the way they play and like you're saying, the way they finish fourth quarter situations, when they rise up at the biggest of moments, you start to get an idea of how mentally tough a guy is, along with how skilled they are. Because you want a good football player. You want a guy that's smart, that can make the plays, okay? Not just know how to make it, but actually can make the play. And so it's always going to be a combination. Are you a star on the football field, and do you make the right play?
And you got to make sure you draft someone like that as well, because this team last year was dormant when it came to the fourth quarter. I can tell you everything about this team, the way they welted in the fourth quarter, that they weren't very mentally and physically tough.
And I bet that's why Big Bo probably made that a big talking point inside the building. You need to be physically and mentally tough when it matters most. I think this guy that we're going to say hey to knows a little something about that.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
The Embedded and Shredded joins us now. You got to be mentally tough at the end of the show, okay?
Yes.
You can't take
big
that
part
last,
of the job.
Can't take that last segment off.
No. You got to be great start to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter what happened before 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
At 4 o'clock, you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
You're informative.
Yeah.
You're peppy.
Yeah.
Peppy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Peppy.
Yeah. That's the way it's got to be.
Yeah. All right.
There's a standard.
Harry Potter gets in front of the microphone. No, I'm not going to. I may nickname him that. I'm not quite sure.
Right.
But
No, I like it.
I am a Gladstone fan. I am 100%. He throws a lot of big words around. He's turned intangibly rich into LFG. He is definitely he is on it. But I still like what I'm hearing. I just need to see what they're going to do starting next Thursday night.
Yeah, the availability today was interesting in terms of Liam Cohen and James Gladstone meeting with reporters to kind of go over the draft as much as you can, because obviously
they're not going to tell you anything.
They're not going to reveal anything in terms of their strategy. So you're basically asking more operational stuff. I thought it was interesting. I mean, look, it's unorthodox. Not doing a local pro day. Not bringing in prospects in the facility for visits is unorthodox. Most teams do that. Now, again, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It could be like Moneyball, where one team started doing something and it caught on, and now every team does it. So we could be 5 years away from in-person visits, top 30s, if you want to call them that, being not as big a priority, and maybe that'll stop, But I think it's interesting how they're approaching it, because it's totally different than any regime that we've had here. I mean, and I would say most clubs do a local pro day. Most clubs, you may not bring in 30 prospects, but you'll probably bring in 24 to 27, somewhere in there.
Because
I think it's interesting in terms of how they're going about it, and it doesn't seem like it'd be one thing if it was like, well, I got here late. We were sort of behind, so there were some things that for efficiency's sake we had to cut out, but that's not it. I mean, the explanation is basically like philosophically, James Gladstone just doesn't believe in you needing the top 30 visits and doesn't really believe in a local pro day.
Yeah, and I want to know what you think, because we were talking about this earlier with that, and he gets it from L.A., what Les Snead decided to do. And at the very least, Hayes, we theorize that, hey, they're putting the tape in. They're relying on their eval from what they did on a football field as opposed to falling in love with a pro day interview.
Yeah, and I think, Gladstone gave a good explanation for his line of thinking. And so, hopefully they'll have a great draft. It's just, it'll be interesting if they do end up drafting guys that, end up having issues, not even like it's one that you're going to draft a bad player. That's the NFL. That's going to happen. But if they draft a player who has some sort of character issue, then I think it's fair to go back and be like, maybe if you'd had, some of this stuff, that wouldn't have happened. But again, that's a conversation for down the road, and hopefully one that never has to occur. But it is interesting just seeing the unique nature of which James Gladstone approaches the draft process. So we'll talk all about that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll have a scholar athlete as well. So it should be a lot of fun.
All right, my man. Sounds good. Hayes Carline, Frank Frangie, JJ LaSalva. An upset occurred in the Cersei Sweet 16.
The first of the 16.
Yeah. Big Cersei.
Shocked me, too.
I would argue that Cam team beating the Vince Young Texas team was also an upset.
Yeah, that's true. Aubie did come back against VY and won that game. That was what, 55-52? That was nuts.
Yeah.
All right. So who is tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 04 USC against the Buckeyes of 24.
Oh, whoa. That's pretty good.
Fun.
That is
That'll be
pretty
fun.
good. I tell you, the Buckeyes that we saw at the end of 24,
Pretty good.
Yeah. All right, we are done. Thanks to all of y'all. You miss any of the show, all you got to do is go back on YouTube. Just rewatch the show. It's real easy to do. Just search XL Primetime and keep up with everything. We appreciate it. That's for sure. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Cersei, and JJ. You got the French show coming up.
We can't control what happens in front of us. You know, whatever happens, happens.
I think you all will remember this phrase, but focusing our attention on intangibly rich human beings and allow that to remain our North Star.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Looking for the win. Scobie sweeps the legs.